Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, Jay-Z Courtside, coming at you today on Thursday, February 26th. Have you guys noticed the unbelievable streak that I've been on at remembering the days of the week? It's actually crazy. I got to give myself some props here, man. Welcome back, everybody. I hope your basketball team won last night. There weren't too many games, and most of them were, in fact, extremely not entertaining whatsoever. So if you guys did tune in to a couple of the close games, we are going to be breaking those down because there were only two last night. We will be, I guess three. We will be going over some takeaways from all the games tonight. So if you feel as though that I might not mention your team, well, chances are I'm going to mention your team if they played last night. Okay. On top of that as well, we are going to be ending today's show with a fun segment that I am taking from my favorite podcast out there, No Dunks, formerly known as The Starters, that were on NBA TV for my, I guess, middle school and high school years. But yeah, today's going to be a very, very fun show. All right. I prepared a good one for y'all. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. TikTok, YouTube, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow, do all that jazz. You guys know that we do this Monday through Friday live at 9 a.m. Eastern. These are all live, as well as my Twitch stream. Guys, all y'all got to do, you guys already know, you guys got the easiest job in the world. All y'all got to do is sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee and an energy drink, and enjoy the show. Guys, I would like to say we are obviously more than halfway into this NBA season, and if you guys are watching on YouTube, I know we do have somewhat of a consistent audience over there, and I hope that becomes more consistent as the days and weeks and months go on. I would like to say thank you again to everybody who's tuning in live, after the fact, whatever. If you are on Spotify or Apple or any of those shows, genuinely thank you. This has been a great first season. I hope you guys can tell that I am improving and getting better as the weeks go by. Y'all know I've been a streamer for 5.5 years, but I was in the gaming scene, so this isn't that much different because I am a yapper. Hopefully down the line, we'll be able to get ourselves a studio. We'll be able to bring some NBA players on here. We'll be able to bring some celebrities and whoever the hell else knows what we'll have. But I do want to say again, thank you for joining the show this early into our journey, because I hope 10 years from now, when we're still doing this, we can look back and remember where we all started. All right. Ladies and gents, let's get this thing started, y'all. All right. Up first, we have the Pistons knocking out the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm putting the Thunder in quotes because it was their B team, and defeating them 124-116. Now, I have a lot of takes about this game, and unfortunately, not a lot of them are going to be about the Oklahoma City Thunder. I know I typically start with a team that won, right? But I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to change my mind here, y'all, and I hope that's okay with y'all. As a Pistons fan, I want to start with the losers first, okay? Because I have a lot to say about the Pistons, and I don't have a whole lot to say about the Oklahoma City Thunder, because this really wasn't the Thunder. Okay, I would like to say they just matched the most amount of threes that the Detroit Pistons have allowed this season. They tied the Hornets and the Spurs for making 18 threes. 18. Okay, 18. They made 18 threes. Now, the fact that the Pistons have won 2 out of the 3 games that the opposing team has doubled their 3-point total. In one of the occurrences against the Hornets, they tripled how many threes the Pistons made. The Pistons hit 9 threes, right? And they won. They beat them. They hit 19. The Spurs made 19. The Pistons lost. And there were a lot of other reasons why the Pistons lost that Spurs game. And then the Hornets made 18, and the Pistons won that game when they only hit, I think, 7. So I really, really, really would like to talk about the Thunder first. They hit 19 threes. They made 20 out of their 21 threes. And I would like to say immediately, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I believe, can only miss 5 more games. Correct me if I'm wrong in the live chat. I believe he can only miss 5 more games from here on out to win MVP. It might be 6, but I think it's 5. Now the Thunder, in order, were missing last night Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who didn't even travel, J-Dub, Chet Holmgren. So there are 3 guys that are making $750 million between the 3 of them. They were all missing last night, as well as Alex Caruso, Isaiah Hartenstein, and AJ Mitchell. On top of that, Isaiah Joe also didn't return in the second half. And then I don't know why the commentators kept saying Brandon Carlson. I've never heard of this guy, but apparently he also got hurt. Okay. And I see this comment getting thrown out around everywhere on Twitter, on TikTok. And in fact, I'm going to say this right now because I see it immediately in the TikTok stream, because you know the TikTok is going to say it. You know the TikTok is going to say, and they already have. Oh, if the Thunder had everybody, they would have beat the Pistons by 50. And it's like, just tell me you've never watched a sport before. Just any sport. Any sport. It could be boxing, wrestling, croquet, cricket, baseball, soccer, football, any sport. When you look in front of you and you say, easy win, it's never an easy win. It's never an easy win. You play down to your competition. Every single team does it. Every single sport. That's what happens. Okay? So, do I believe that the Pistons would have won? Well, what I do believe is that Jay Will would not have went for his career high and dropped 30 points, 9 for 14 from 3. I don't believe Cason Wallace would have had 30 minutes. I don't believe Aaron Wiggins would have had 35 minutes. So the three guys and then Jared McCain off the bench as well, who also would not have played. So then you consider J-Dub, who's had a horrible year. Chet, who scored 7 points the night before. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So my point being is this is sports, man. This is sports. When you see who's in front of you, you play down to your opponent. That's what always happens. That's what always happens. McCain would not have played because AJ Mitchell and Shea were there. McCain is their third point guard. That's just tell me you don't know the rotation without knowing that you don't. Bro, the Wizards just beat the Pistons like 3 weeks ago, or maybe it was a month ago. It happens in the NBA. It happens and I would like to give all credit where credit is due. Jay Will was torching Jalen Duren, and it's okay. Jalen Duren was torching him back, but this is just what happens, man. This is what you got to beat who's in front of you. Okay. So again, when you look at this final score, I promise you it wasn't this close. The reason why it was close is because of one name, and I will get to him in a minute. Okay. This should have been a 20+ win, but because JB Bickerstaff has a crush on arguably the worst player in the NBA, I'd say second worst because Killian Hayes is back. Because JB Bickerstaff continues to play the second worst player in the NBA. This is why the Pistons didn't win by 20+. Okay? His name is Caris LeVert. Caris LeVert. Caris LeVert. Caris LeVert. Say his name 3 times in a mirror, and he'll ruin your franchise in 17 minutes. Caris LeVert. It makes me sick just thinking of this man. In fact, last night, I didn't even get to enjoy this win. Typically, after a Pistons game, I'm happy, I'm giddy, I'm going to bed with a smile. I went to bed with a headache last night. And the reason being is because of one man named Caris LeVert. Caris LeVert's stats, when you look at him here, does not look that bad. When you look right here, it does not look that bad. But when you expand the statistics, Caris LeVert over his last 20 games is shooting 19% from 3 on 4 attempts a night. Please hear me one more time. He is averaging 19% from 3 on 4 attempts a night. Meaning you are lucky if he makes 1 that night. Okay? On top of that, how many turnovers is this man averaging? I'm curious, because almost every single play he dribbles it off of his feet. I really have to see how many turnovers he has. How are you averaging almost 2 turnovers? How are you averaging almost 2 turnovers? So again, I do have to show you guys. Caris LeVert in his 17 minutes was a -11. If he doesn't touch the court, the Pistons win by 20. But because we want to play Caris LeVert for that much. And here's the thing. If Caris LeVert, I got told in the TikTok that bro doesn't know ball at all. Okay, I will not be told that I don't know ball when I'm talking about the team that I watch every single game. Here's the thing about Karis LeVert. JB Bickerstaff has a crush on him, okay? In case none of you guys know this, JB Bickerstaff coached him in Cleveland, and JB Bickerstaff has had a close relationship for years, okay? Karis LeVert and JB Bickerstaff have something together, okay? And he always plays Asar Thompson, or he always plays Karis LeVert in place of Asar Thompson. At the end of this game, just like the Spurs, JB Bickerstaff sat Asar Thompson out for the entire second half against the Spurs. In this game, here's what happened. The Pistons were up by 2 points in the first quarter. I need to paint the picture for you guys. The Pistons were up by 2 points in the first quarter. JB took Asar out with 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Do you know what happened? The Pistons all of a sudden were down by 12. All of a sudden, as soon as LeVert came in, the Pistons were down by 12. He ended up playing for about, I think, 8 minutes. And in those 8 minutes, the swing turned into a minus 15. Okay? So now the Pistons are down. I believe the total lead was 12. The only reason Karis LeVert got subbed out in the second quarter, not because he choked and we lost a 15-point swing. The only reason that Asar came back in is because Karis LeVert got his third foul in 8 minutes. Third foul in 8 minutes. So Asar came back in the second, and I mean the second, that Asar Thompson came in. The Pistons rattled off a 12-0 run, highlighted by this play right here. Asar Thompson gets beat. That's what you think. Swats Lou Dort. Swats him. Pistons are on a fast break. Pistons running. Asar's yelling for the ball. Asar gets the ball, straight oop to Duren, all in one play. And he did that 3 plays in a row. Called a timeout. Pistons went on a 12-0 run. Okay, so then what happens? The third quarter starts. The third quarter starts. I need you guys to hear me and hear me well, please. The third quarter starts, right? The Pistons go up by 17 points. The Pistons go up by 17 points. Karis LeVert checks in. And the Thunder go on a 12-0 run. 5-point game. Asar comes back in. We go back up by 13. And then he takes Asar out for the final 5 minutes of the game. JB Bickerstaff, I am out. I am done. I am out. I'm not even on Karis LeVert anymore. You guys heard how bad he is. You guys heard how bad he is. Let me talk about JB Bickerstaff. Listen, Dennis Jenkins, I love and respect you, bro. But the moment we paid you, you have been ass. 2 for 6 from the field, and that's a good game in comparison to how he's been. Why are we closing the game with a lineup of Cade, Dennis Jenkins, just Javonte Green, Tobias Harris, who's been ass, and Jalen Duren? By the way, he took out Jalen Duren for the final 8 minutes of the game, who was on a tear, and then brought in Paul Reed. And then finally brought Jalen Duren back in for the final 2 minutes of the game. He sat out Asar Thompson for the last 6 minutes of this basketball game, and that is the only reason the Oklahoma City Thunder came back into this game. It just keeps happening. In case you guys don't know, in the playoffs last year, the Pistons lost to the New York Knicks. Every time the Pistons had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, JB Bickerstaff would pull Asar Thompson, and then the Knicks, specifically Jalen Brunson, would go on a 12-0 run the second that Asar Thompson came out. It just does not make sense. I have a very not fun statistic for you guys. I want to show you. I'm being told that won't happen this year. It has happened multiple times this year. Go look at our losses and go look at our final rotations that are in the game. I have a very not fun statistic for you guys. Do you know the last time Jalen Duren played 35 minutes in a basketball game? November. Our starting center, our starting all-star center has not played 35 minutes since November, the second week of the season. Do you know the last time Asar Thompson played 35 minutes in a game? The first week of December. I understand the Pistons are 43-14, and they're one win away from tying their win total from last season. I understand that. But the patterns that I am seeing from JB Bickerstaff and relying on Karis LeVert, who is a horrible basketball player, does genuinely not make sense. We have Marcus Sasser, who's a demon, rotting on the bench. We have one shooter in Duncan Robinson, who is a plus 380 when he's on the court. Yet he barely clings onto 30 minutes. We don't play Sasser. We don't play Chaz Lanier, who's an amazing rookie. Asar Thompson, by the way, his brother is averaging 38 minutes a game. Asar Thompson is averaging 25. 25. It's not about him getting hurt. It's about JB not knowing how to be a fucking coach. He's not saving them for the playoffs. He's going to yank Asar Thompson at the end of the games, just like he did last playoffs, just like he's doing all season now in the playoffs. How is Asar Thompson playing 25 minutes a game? How is our second all-star, who's averaging, since he got back from his suspensions, 27 points and 13 rebounds, how is he only averaging 27 minutes a game? Cade is our only player that on a nightly basis plays 30-plus minutes. Because without him, we're nothing. In the playoffs, when we don't have a reliable second option, this team is going to suffer. I hate to say it. JB Bickerstaff just has an unbelievable crush on Karis LeVert. It doesn't make any sense. I would like to give two special shout outs. Cade Cunningham, crazy efficient night. He had 29 points, and this is to follow up the stinker he had against the Spurs. Cade Cunningham had 29 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 blocks, shot 11 for 16 from the field, 81% true shooting, and 3 for 5 from deep. Cade's three-pointer is back, and I love to see it. Like, this is just unbelievable. That's unbelievable stats. And like, I just want to show you guys what Pistons fans are going through. This guy said, wow, guys, Asar just keeps making this offense elite, but I think we should sub him out for a whole half or just at the end of games when we have a comfy lead. Thoughts? This is the story of the Pistons fan base. This is what happens. This is how the Pistons fan base is. This is just what it is. This is what it's like being a Pistons fan right now. We know JB's going to sit Asar Thompson. We know it's going to happen. We know Karis LeVert's going to play in and destroy this team. We know it. It's been happening all season long, and he was doing it last year with Dennis Schroeder. He was doing it last year with Malik Beasley. He was doing it last year with Tim Hardaway Jr. I also do have to give a massive shout out to Jalen Duren. He's been hooping after his suspension. He's averaging 27 points and 13 rebounds, or I guess 14 rebounds since he's been back. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's unbelievable. That's beautiful. Yes, Asar Thompson was Defensive Player of the Month in January, and he should have been it again in February, but his coach doesn't play him enough. So shout out Jalen Duren, shout out Cade Cunningham. They both hooped, bro. And then I'm sure as all you guys saw, that crazy block that Cade Cunningham had on Nikola Topic. I'm seeing a lot of discourse on Twitter that people are saying, how dare you chase down block Nikola Topic and then talk shit to him. What do you guys want Cade to do? Treat him like a Make-A-Wish kid? This guy's a professional athlete. This guy's in the NBA. I know he's recovering from testicular cancer. But like, what are we doing here? Why are NBA fans saying Cade's reputation is down the drain? Do you guys want to treat him like a Make-A-Wish kid? Like, this guy's a professional athlete. He's in the NBA. He's in the National Basketball Association. He swatted the fuck out of him and he said, "Give me that shit." And now he's talking shit to him. Like, what do you guys want him to do? I don't know. I don't know what people want. We can't win, bro. Pistons fans can't win. Everyone just gets mad at us for doing anything. I do want to give another special shout out to another unbelievable stat. An unbelievable stat for anybody that talks shit about Cade's defense as well. This is Cade's 4th straight game. Please listen up. With 10 assists and 2 blocks. The second longest streak since 1973 when Mookie Blaylock did it. That is an unbelievable statistic. 10 assists and 2 blocks for 4 games in a row. Longest streak since Mookie Blaylock in 1994. My apologies. That was the last time. And somebody in the TikTok is saying, who is Mookie Blaylock? Wow. Wow. That's how crazy that stat is, ladies and gents. That's how crazy that stat is. People don't even know the originator, Mookie Blaylock, bro. He's a hooper. How do you not know Mookie? And anyways, Cade finished this game with 3 steals and 3 blocks. 3 steals and 3 blocks. I'd like to emphasize that further. Like, that's unbelievable. That's crazy. That's crazy. Again, special shout out. Sorry, I rambled far too long on this. There's just not many games to talk about today. So unfortunately, I have to do this. Yeah, shout out Jalen Williams for getting his career high. That's my biggest gripe against Jalen Duren. He can't guard the perimeter at all. He just does not guard the perimeter, and that's Jalen Duren's biggest weakness as an NBA player. That's why we need Beef Stew. That's how important Isaiah Stewart is for this team. Isaiah Stewart is our perimeter defender. Tobias Harris has been horrible lately. Honestly, it's getting very depressing to see. He just gives up offensive rebound after offensive rebound after offensive rebound. He does not try on the glass, and that's why the Thunder had 30-second chance points this game. Let's move on to our next game. But before that, I am going to end the TikTok stream. If you guys want more stream, we're still doing the show live on Twitch, guys. Hope to see you guys pull up. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio, guys. I hope to see you guys come through. So yeah, that's what's been happening. Yeah, Tobias has not been good, unfortunately. I know Tobias is great for the room. I know Tobias is great in the locker room, but it's been bad this year. It's been very, 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 very bad. Let's move on to our next game. The San Antonio Spurs defeating the Toronto Raptors. Now the Raptors were up by 15 points this game, and they choked. I'm going to start with the winning team, the Spurs. Obviously, they need to hit their free throws. They got to hit their free throws. They should not be missing that many free throws, especially in the clutch. I already know Mitch Johnson's going to make them shoot 1,000 free throws before this road trip ends. Shout out the Spurs for pulling out this win. Crazy, crazy, crazy win. And on top of all of that, Wemby had a horrible game as well. That's a couple games in a row where Wemby has had horrible offensive games, but regardless, he was still a plus 19 on the court. He had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and a block. So it doesn't matter if he has a bad offensive game when his teammates are carrying the load. And that's all that matters. I'd like to give a special shout out to Momo. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you a lot. But yeah, he was 3 for 12 from the field. Not a good game. Pepper and Momo, thank you guys so much for the follows on Twitch. I appreciate it very, very, very much. Shout out to you guys for coming through to the Twitch stream. Welcome, y'all. It's a much better experience over here. Happy to have you. 5 blocks, 1 steal. Unbelievable game. He still was a plus 19 on the court. On top of that, I do need to say something. Devin Vassell, I was not familiar with this man. I don't know if that makes me a casual or not. Devin Vassell is on fire. He is on fire. Obviously, against the Pistons, he hit 7 threes. But against the Raptors, he hit 5 threes, 5 for 6, 8 for 13 from the field. This is crazy. He's finishing with 21 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Devin freaking Vassell, you are so talented, man. You are so talented. Like, holy, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know if that makes me a casual or not, but Vassell, I don't think he's been like that in his first 40 games of the season. Yeah, he's only averaging 14 points, but in his last few, he's averaging 20 plus. I don't think that makes me a casual. I think that just means he's on a hot streak. Julian Champagnie still hit 3 threes, but he didn't shoot that as well as he did against the Pistons, of course. I would like to give a couple shout outs again. Tay Huncho, Pepper, and Momo. Thank you guys so much for the follows on Twitch. I appreciate y'all very, very much. Be sure to join the Discord as well, guys. The link is right there in the chat. This is not a good game for Champagnie at all. 3 for 8, 3 for 7 from deep. I would like to give a special shout out to De'Aaron Fox. He really got the Spurs buckets when they looked bad. You know what I mean? And Fox looked surprisingly very good last night. He actually looked like an all-star, what he was selected as. I think De'Aaron Fox needs to remember that it has to be the reliable second option on this team for them to compete in the playoffs. You're not going to be able to rely on Devin Vassell. You're not going to be able to rely on Stephon Castle. You're not going to be able to rely on Julian Champagnie. It's going to be Vic, and it's going to be De'Aaron Fox. And the moment that they realize that, they really got to get each other going, like going towards the end of this, the regular season, because Dylan Harper as well. Dylan Harper, he looks like a vet, man. He looks like a vet. The way this kid takes it to the hoop, the way he shoots, even though he's shooting horrible percentage this year, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. I love watching Dylan Harper hoop. 7 for 11 last night, but 1 for 4 from deep. Like, Dylan Harper is going to be one special kid in this NBA. He already is. And he's only going to improve every single game. My fear for the San Antonio Spurs is you're not going to be able to rely on Wembanyama on offense in the playoffs. And I've told you guys this plenty of times. You're going to need your supporting cast to do what they do in the playoffs. And unfortunately, they're not going to be able to do that because, as we all know, experience means a lot. It's hard for me to bet against the Spurs with how good they are, but you have to be aggressive with Vic. You have to. And Wembanyama flops already, so he'll get his foul calls, just not as frequent as he does in the playoffs that he would of the regular season. Okay? Vic is very good at exaggerating the contact, so that will work, right? But De'Aaron Fox is going to be the X factor of this team come playoff time. If they verse like the Lakers, yeah, they're going to dominate them, right? Their defense is going to stay the same. Their defense is going to be prolific, especially with Wemby down low. But you're going to need a little bit from everybody come playoff time. The most, though, is going to be De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama. You're not going to be able to just dish it to Wemby and let him cook one-on-one. Nobody's going to allow him to play one-on-one. So when the inevitable trap comes at Wemby, can Devin Vassell hit that open three in the playoffs? Can Julian Champagnie hit that three in the playoffs? Can De'Aaron Fox facilitate a half-court offense in the playoffs? Correct me if I'm wrong. De'Aaron Fox has never won a playoff series. It was just the Light the Beam team that lost to the Warriors, right? So this is going to be a very important playoff series, like a stretch of the season, because this team needs Fox to get going. It's awesome that we see Devin Vassell cooking. It's awesome that we see Julian Champagnie being their most consistent shooter. It's awesome that we're seeing the rise of Stephon Castle. But you need Fox to be Fox. Straight up. You need that. So like I said, the Spurs are just like the Pistons. I've been preaching this all year long. Both of these teams are playing with house money. Neither team has won a playoff series, right? In fact, the Spurs were just a lottery team last year. The issue with these two teams is they just don't have that experience. So, well, the Pistons have experience. They lost to the Knicks, so they do have more experience than the Spurs do. My fear for the Pistons, obviously, is if they're tripling Cade, can Cade still have an efficient passing night to make sure that we win? Can our guys just hit a few threes to make sure the Pistons can win? The Spurs, however, they have a second option. That's what they got De'Aaron Fox for. The Pistons don't have that second option. The Spurs do. It's just a matter of experience with everybody else around those two. So we'll see, man. You guys got to remember, Victor Wembanyama, this is going to be his first playoffs. And I hate to see everybody putting so much expectation, so much pressure on both the Pistons and Spurs, because they both are playing with house money this year. I really, really want to see both teams succeed. I think between the two of them, obviously you're not going to bet against the guy that's 7'15". But this is just how I believe that this season is going to go. Against the Lakers, they're pooping on them. And against like the Suns, they're pooping on them. So like I wouldn't worry about most of the matchups. But you do have to worry about the second round and the third round. I genuinely believe the Spurs should make it out of the first round no matter who they verse. But my fear is just what can they do beyond that? And they're a young team, so it's okay if they lose in the second round. It's okay because all the pressure is getting put on them when they shouldn't have any pressure at all. The San Antonio Spurs and the Detroit Pistons both are playing with house money a lot this year. And I guess that's all I really have to talk about the Spurs. Fox was awesome in this game. Fox was very, very good in this game. If they can get that for the rest of the season and then move that into the playoffs, this team is going to be scary. Because like I said, this team will only go as far as Fox will take them. Wemby's going to be Wemby. The roster is very deep. Wemby will be Wemby, but Wemby's going to be in his first ever playoffs. So I hate to see everybody putting so much pressure on him, but at the same time, he's that good that you feel like comfortable to put that pressure on them. It's very, very fun. It's a very, very fun experience that we're watching. Dylan Harper's only going to evolve. Same with Stephon Castle. Same with Devin Vassell. Same with Julian Champagny. You just hope that they don't crumble come playoff time. And it's very possible that that will happen. When Wemby gets tripled at the elbow, can they hit their open threes? That's all. That's all. That's the only question you should be asking, because the Spurs hit 17 threes last night. And then the night before, they hit 18 on the Pistons. So when they're shooting like that from deep, they can beat anybody in the NBA. It's just a matter of, can they hit those threes in the playoffs? And truth be told, nobody hits those threes in the playoffs. Unless you're the Boston Celtics or the Golden State Warriors, which these teams are not. I'm very excited, though. Now, I do want to talk about this real quick. The Toronto Raptors, I know you guys can't beat good teams. I know that. But I do have something very important to say about the Toronto Raptors, that it should be words of encouragement to my Canadian viewers out there. I know you guys can't beat good teams, okay? But something that should be at least a moral win is you guys match up extremely well against the San Antonio Spurs. Extremely well. The Toronto Raptors are they attempt the second most mid-range shots in the NBA. And you guys know why. Scotty Barnes takes a lot of mid-rangers. Brandon Ingram takes a shit ton of mid-rangers. RJ Barrett takes a bunch of mid-rangers off the baseline. Mamu, Pirtle, all of these players love that mid-range shot. They love it. So when Wemby has the paint locked down, Brandon Ingram, I watched the entire game back. Brandon Ingram was pulling up for mid-range after mid-range after mid-range. Scotty, your turn. Mid-range, mid-range, mid-range. Over and over and over again. And that's what led them in this game by 15 points. They were hitting all their mid-ranges because you can't enter the paint when Wemby's on the court. So they match up pretty well. They match up pretty well. And I'd like to give a special shout out to Jakob Poeltl. He played really well last night, man. Played really well. 15 points, 7 rebounds, 3 of them offensive, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks. He was 5 for 11 from the field and 5 for 5 from the free throw line. I thought he had a great game. And I thought he was bodying Wembanyama as good as he can. Obviously, Poeltl's contract is one of the worst in the NBA. Obviously, his back is not good. But still, I like what I saw. It's really unfortunate that the Toronto Raptors can't beat any good teams. But what can you do? What can you do? They're going to make the playoffs. So at least that's a step in the right direction, right? Now, again, I would like to give a special shout out to everybody in the TikTok and YouTube. I wish you guys would come to the Twitch stream. It's a much better experience over here. The name is JZ Uncut on Twitch. We'd love to have you guys come through. I shout out everybody that comes to the Twitch and drops a follow. So that's all I really have to say about this game. Good win from the San Antonio Spurs. They now move on to 10 wins in a row. And since the Pistons beat the Thunder last night, and the Suns won, the Spurs are only 2 games below the Thunder in the Western Conference. 2 games. That's it. That is it. 2 games. I know Spurs fans are just laughing right now. Let's move on. No T for you. Thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you. Be sure to join the Discord as well. Let's move on to any other takeaways from last night. I took some notes of the other games that happened. Shout out the Milwaukee Bucks. In case you guys don't know, the Bucks have won 8 out of their last 10 games, all without Giannis. Now, I would like to make note, Cavs fans will yell at me if I don't mention it. No James Harden, his thumb. We'll talk about that later. No Donovan Mitchell. I'm not going to say no Max Strus because he's been out all year. And no Evan Mobley. So they're missing Evan Mobley, James Harden, and Donovan Mitchell. Okay? And they still made it a game because Dennis Schroeder does what Dennis Schroeder does. I wish the Pistons still had him. 26 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 8 for 14 from the field, 3 for 6 from the 3. And then shout out Jared Allen, man. That man can hoop, and he can also play some Smash Bros. 27 points, 11 rebounds, 6 of them offensive. In fact, that final one almost won the Cavs the game. In case you guys don't know, the Cavs missed, and then Jared Allen went, grabbed the offensive rebound, and his putback was too late. Game ended. It was still in his hands. Sam Merrill had an okay game from the field, but he only shot 2 for 8 from the field. 2 for 8 from 3. Dean Wade 0 for 4, not a good game. And Keon Ellis balled out, man. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, plus 6 on the court, 5 for 9 from the field. Unbelievable game. It's so funny to me that the Sacramento Kings traded the one guy that had value on that team, and instead of Keon Ellis, they opted for Killian Hayes. I took a note of Killian Hayes. Don't worry. We'll be talking about him again. We'll be talking about Killian Hayes when the time comes, okay? Yes, the Twitch stream is the same as the TikTok. In fact, if you guys watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will be gifting you a $5 subscription in the Twitch, okay? I love when you guys come through to the Twitch. It's the easiest way I can respond to you. I would appreciate it if you guys did come to the Twitch. John and T, thank you guys so much for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate y'all very, very much. Again, if you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch, the link is in my bio, I will gift you a $5 sub, okay? The Bear, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you very, very much. Shout out to you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate you. Bear, welcome on in. Happy to have you. And then the Bucks. Kevin Porter Jr. had a great game, 10 for 16 from the field. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful game. Yeah, the Cavs did their thing. Cavs did their thing, y'all. Or sorry, the Bucks did their thing. Kevin Porter Jr. has been hooping. He's been hooping, and I love to see that. Kyle Kuzma had a surprisingly decent and efficient night. He shot 5 for 10 from deep, and that's all it took. AJ Green, I love him. Ryan Rollins had a good game as well. And yeah, Bobby Portis and Jericho Sims. It's crazy that Jericho Sims is getting more minutes than Miles Turner, by the way. That's insane. $80 million for your backup big to be getting more minutes than the starting big that you just paid for last summer. Isn't that insanity, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't that absolutely insanity? So if you guys are tuning in real quick from the TikTok, I need to talk about the games that happened last night. And then obviously teams that didn't play. Sometimes I'll mention a little thing about them here and there, depending on the segment that we're doing. If you guys have general questions about other teams that aren't in today's show, be sure to stick around after the podcast, because we do stay live after the podcast, because we record these and upload them on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. So if you guys do want to talk more, be sure to join our Discord. That's the most important place to join, as well as just stick around until after the show. All right. Remember, if you guys watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription. So I'd like to shout out everybody that just came from the TikTok. You guys made some brilliant decisions. Bear, John, T, Tay, Pepper, Momo, Lord Bagel, and Lee Battle. Thank you guys so much for all the follows on Twitch. I'm sure this is annoying for anybody that listens to the podcast, so I would like to apologize to my podcast listeners. This will slow down as the season progresses, but right now we are trying to grow our live crew as well as our podcast listeners. So my apologies. I'm sure you guys usually just skip 15 seconds whenever I do get into these TikTok rants, but I do appreciate everybody for coming through to the Twitch. Let's move on to our next game. Bucks, 8 out of the last 10. Great. Denver Nuggets smoked the Boston Celtics. Now, the Boston Celtics, I don't have much to say about this game. They're on the second night of a back-to-back. Even though Jaylen Brown sat out and a couple guys sat out for the Celtics against the Suns, everybody shot like shit. That's the moral of this game. The Nuggets shot like shit. The Celtics just shot shittier. That's what happened. That's what happened. The Celtics shot 34% from the field and 27% from 3. Tired legs, end of the road trip. I don't blame him for losing this game. PP was horrible. Off the bench, 3 points, 1 for 6. That's 2 back-to-back horrible games in a row. Vucevic has been a horrible pickup for this team. It's honestly surprising. He has not been good. I'm sure he will be good as the season progresses, but Vucci baby has not been good at all. His defense has gotten even worse than when he was on the Bulls. It's sort of sad. Nobody had a good game. Vucci 1 for 7. Peyton Pritchard 1 for 6. Ron Harper Jr. 1 for 7. Jaylen Brown 7 for 21. Lucky he had 9 free throws. Cade could never. Sam Hauser 2 for 5. Neemias Queta 4 for 6. Best player of the game, but he was getting worked by Jokic. Could not hold a light to him. Derek White 6 for 14. He had an early magnet ball, and then Baylor Shireman 3 for 9. So just not a good shooting night. Now again, the Nuggets didn't have a good shooting night either. Plus, Jamal Murray got a lot of gamblers upset last night because they bet the over on him, and he ended up leaving the game early because he was feeling under the weather. Cam Johnson still has not gotten going with the Nuggets. 4 for 11. Nikola Jokic, bad game. 11 for 28. 4 for 13 from 3. He has been bad since returning. Yet the NBA will hype him up and still say that he's impossible to stop when he's shooting the worst he's ever. This is the worst shooting stretch he's ever had. It's crazy. It's crazy. It is virtually crazy. Christian Brown, 2 for 5. Julian Strawther, 5 for 9. Jamal Murray, like I said, 1 for 3. He left the game. Bruce Brown, another horrible night, 1 for 8. Spencer Jones, 2 for 5. KJ Simpson, 1 for 5. It just wasn't a good game. Tim Hardaway, 5 for 9, but they got what they needed. Jonas Valanciunas, 5 for 7, and Deron Holmes, the second. Easy. They're still waiting on Aaron Gordon. They're still waiting on that. And Payne Watson as well. Same with Jalen Pickett. So both teams played bad, but the Celtics played worse. And that's what happened. The Celtics played worse. That's all. And again, I keep seeing this ridiculed comment spammed in the YouTube, and I'm surprised. The YouTube chat is usually very, very tame. YouTube, I'm talking strictly to you. I'm seeing comments, and I'm going to quote them. Pistons got smoked by the Spurs and almost lost to OKC with none of their starters. LOL, Pistons ain't going anywhere. And then another guy said, how the Pistons the best when they beat a G League Thunder and got schooled by the Spurs? People clearly only look at box scores and don't understand the story of sports and the morals of these stories and why they lose these games. That's just what happens. That's what happens. You play down to your opponents, and then your coach makes boneheaded decisions. He didn't play Asar Thompson in an entire second half. And the Spurs got hot from 3, man. That's what happens. It's an 82-game season. I don't know how you can call somebody not a contender when they lose a game in the regular season. If you want to tell me that they're not a contender because the Pistons don't have a second option, I agree with you. I agree with you. If you want to tell me that the Pistons won't be a contender because they haven't won a playoff series in 18 years and you don't think that they can go from not winning a playoff series to all the way to the finals, I'm with you. I believe you. I agree. But if you're going to tell me that a single regular season game is a reason why a team isn't a contender, please do me a favor. Sit down, get your little baby bottle, and stop talking about sports. Let's move on real quick to the Warriors and Grizzlies. I'm not going to talk much. Warriors decimated the Grizzlies. They hit 19 threes, and Draymond Green wasn't playing last night. Obviously, no Curry, no Draymond Green, no Jimmy Butler, obviously, no Steph Curry, Kristaps Porzingis, DeAnthony Melton. You guys already know the drill. But they hit three after 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 three. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's it. And now I would like to shout out one beautiful viewer of mine named Tony. Tony, that's a real big fuck up, buddy. I now have a picture of your face, your name, and your aspiring content creation career. Very easy to find your job as well. He came in and said, we really listening to a buddy gas station dude talking about the NBA, LOL. Tony, I'd be very, very careful, my friend. I'd be very, very careful. South Carolina, black, educated, passionate, avid traveler. Interesting. First of all, wrong kind of brown. Wrong kind of brown. I'm not that brown. And Tony, here's my advice for you. You're what, 45 years old? Buddy, you got to grow the fuck up. Put a shirt on. Put a shirt on. Yeah, Warriors went crazy. Grizzlies, they did not go crazy. Gigi Jackson and Ty Jerome had good games. Taylor Hendricks was good off the bench. And yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. Yeah, that dude's beard just doesn't connect. Rockets win. Not much to say. Ime Udoka played Reed Shepherd, and they ended up winning the game. Reed Shepherd, 28 points. 9 for 21 from the field. Unbelievable. Turns out playing Reed Shepherd and playing against the Kings makes your team look godlike. It's crazy what playing the Kings does for what it does for your morale. You know, the Sacramento Kings are like the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, Lakers fans, I'm sure, would be very upset by this. Because when you play against these two teams, they're horrible, the Lakers and the Kings. When you play against these two teams, they really make you think, man, we're contenders. You know what I mean? Look at the Magic fans. They are up so good. They are up so good after destroying the Lakers. Well, not destroying, but beating the Lakers. Barely beating the Lakers, in fact. And now Rockets fans are going to feel like, yeah, baby, we're up. We just beat the Kings. But the Lakers are better. They're a better punching bag because you can convince yourself that it means something. You know what I mean? Now, that's all I got to say. Oh, sorry. Killian Hayes, my boy. Killian Hayes. If you guys did not see the Killian Hayes highlights, I highly, highly, highly recommend y'all go check him out. Killian Hayes, my brother in Christ, man. People always ask me, Jay-Z, as a Pistons fan, how was it watching Killian Hayes? I got to tell y'all something, man. I don't remember. But when I watch these highlights, it's like a bad dream repeating. It's like, I don't remember. I don't remember what it's like watching Killian Hayes. And then I watch him, and then all of a sudden, I do remember. He can't go right. He can only go left. And the moment that you touch him, he immediately gets flustered, and he won't make the shot if you touch him. He hates contact. Killian Hayes hates contact, but he also can't shoot. So Killian Hayes putting up an unbelievable performance last night. That's 2 unbelievable games in a row. I remember the one good game that he had against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yes, I do remember that. Killian Hayes, 3 points, 1 for 9, 1 for 3, 16% true shooting. Killian, I love you, my man. This just goes to show you that the G League and the NBA are very, very, very different. They're very different. They're extreme. Like, you can't say that. This guy's hooping in the G. It's like, yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason he's hooping in the G. Oh God, it's so bad. It's so sad. It's so sad. Oh, it's so sad. Guys, let's move on to our final segment of today's show. All right. And I prepared a good one. I'd like to give a special shout out to my favorite podcast guys out there, No Dunks, formerly known as The Starters on NBA TV. I used to listen to them and watch them after school every single day on NBA TV back in middle school and high school. And now I listen to them every day after my own podcast on YouTube. All right. They do a segment called Is This News? And we're going to do that segment today because I thought we brought some great topics of discussion today. Okay, guys, I'm going to ask you, is this news? And the parameter of that is like, do you think that this is worthy to talk about? Do you think this is a conversation? Do you think this is a good conversation to have? So is this news? You're going to answer me yes or no. Twitch chat, I am mainly speaking to y'all. YouTube and TikTok, if you guys want to participate as well, feel free to do so. On podcast listeners, of course, say it in your head or out loud, or whatever you guys want to do. All right. And if you guys want to really talk to me, if you guys want a better streaming and viewing experience, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. That's where you get every message read by me, where you hang out with my community, and you can join the Discord for my Twitch stream as well. It's a much, much better experience over here in the Twitch. It's JZ Uncut. Ladies and gentlemen, help me out here. All right? This is a group activity. Is this news? James Harden suffers a thumb injury in his right hand. Is this news? Now, as you guys know, James Harden sat out last night. He's got a thumb injury, a thumb fracture in his right thumb during Tuesday's win over the New York Knicks. Harden is undergoing further evaluations and treatment. Now, they did come out later on and say he's fine. He'll be getting better through it. He's going to play through the season, and we'll see how it affects him. Now, I'm seeing a lot of no's that it's not news. People are saying not shocking at all. He's old. I see only a couple yeses, but mostly no's. Now, I'm also going to say no, this is not news. One, it's James Harden. He is old. He's battled through a lot of injuries in his career. I genuinely don't think a little thing in his right thumb, it's just offhand. I don't think it's going to affect him a whole lot. That's not the kind of player James Harden is. I don't think it's going to affect him a whole lot. So I don't believe that this is news. Now, why they announced it and then later on, like, they scared Cavs fans, and then they later on came out and said, oh, he's going to be playing through it. And it's like, what? Okay, so it's not serious? That's how I felt, because I was like, oh no, the Cavs can't catch a break. And then 30 minutes later, he's going to be playing through it. I'm like, oh, okay. Thanks for giving Cavs fans a heart attack then. Yeah, it's just a thumb fracture. Now, in case you guys are wondering when this occurred against the New York Knicks, it's when Jalen Brunson, now I've been talking about this a lot, James Harden has not been getting his foul calls that he's used to. The foul calls that he's been getting in every single city, he is not getting them in Cleveland. If you guys just watch these Cleveland games, he's not getting those foul calls. And in fact, on this certain play specifically, I was screaming at my TV because the commentators are crediting Jalen Brunson for, he turns the ball over and then look at that hustle. That's your captain of your team. He got back on defense. And then they showed the replay and Jalen Brunson just whacks the absolute fuck, excuse my French, out of James Harden's wrist, which then fractured his right thumb. So shout out Jalen Brunson for getting back on defense and attacking James Harden. But yeah, that's what happened, man. That's what happened. I don't think this is news. I think James Harden's going to be fine. I think he's still going to fall in the playoffs. And the Cavs fall in the second round yet again. Sorry, Cavs fans. I apologize. It's James Harden. I'm not falling for it again. I'm sorry. Honeymoon phase is crazy. I'm not falling for it again. You guys can go undefeated for the rest of the season. I'm not falling for James Harden in the playoffs. I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it. I'm sorry. Cavs fans, it's not your fault. It's James Harden's fault. I promise. I'm being told it's your year. I pray to God it's your year. I hope it's your year. I'm a Pistons fan, and I am telling you, if it ain't this year, then fuck it. It ain't ever happening again. Okay? I'm not falling for James Harden again. I'm not falling for it, okay? I will believe it when I see it. I'm not going to doubt him, but I will believe it when I see it. Valerian, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you very, very much. Shout out to you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream, YouTube, TikTok. I'd love to see more of you guys come to the Twitch. It's a much better experience over here, guys. Much, much, much better experience over here. Hey, shout out Lansing, bro. Shout out Lansing. Guys, is this news? Is this news? The NBA sent their own doctors to validate Lauri Markkanen's season-ending injury. That's right. The NBA is sending their own independent doctors to verify Lauri Markkanen's MRI from his injury in practice today. Guys, I'm being honest. This is news, man. This is news, bro. This is news. This came out yesterday. I could not believe this, dude. The NBA. So in case you guys don't know, and remind me if I'm wrong, the Utah Jazz came out a few days ago and said that Nurkic had a nose surgery that was preventing him to sleep. It was preventing him from sleeping well. Nurkic, right? Listen, every single Arab in Detroit struggled with breathing, and that's why they got a nose job. I think Nurkic just wanted his nose job, and he just took some time off to get it. Genuinely, they all say, "Oh, I struggle with breathing, bro." My mom got a nose job before I was even born because she had trouble breathing. You know what's crazy? My dad got a fucking nose job. I had no idea because they had trouble breathing. Listen, I am from Metro Detroit. I am living in North Carolina now. In Metro Detroit, there's a million Chaldeans. There's probably there's a bunch of Arabs there, okay? They all had this supposed rare nose disorder that they can't breathe at night. Now that they came out and said Lauri Markkanen is also out, who else was out? Vince Williams, he tore his ACL, thanks Tari Eason. And now Lauri Markkanen, they're trying to shut him down. Adam Silver straight up said, no tanking. I am sending a doctor over there, and I'm going to verify whether or not you are actually out for the year. This is crazy, guys. The Jazz already got fined, I believe, $500,000 for that intentional tank job a couple weeks ago. This is unbelievable. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is actually crazy. Yeah, I'm glad the NBA is trying to do something about it, but they're not gonna do anything about it. They're not, but I appreciate Adam Silver for striving. This is funny. This is really, really funny. It is. They're pulling out everything. Pot of greed coming out. Everything's coming out. I think it's news, and I'm glad you guys all agree that, yes, this is news. Like, they are really trying to make sure that he's actually hurt. Okay? Guys, I have two more. All right? We have two more. So lock in. Guys, help me out. Is this news? Only 3 teams fulfill Phil Jackson's 40-20 rule. Now, before you guys answer, in case you guys don't know, the 40-20 rule is when Phil Jackson claimed that your team, in order to be a contender, you have to win 40 games before you lose 20. Okay? Now, my Knicks fans are coming out and saying no. All my fans who are saying no, their teams did not get 40 wins before 20 losses. Do you think that this is news that the only teams are the Thunder, the Spurs, and the Pistons? There are only 3 teams in the NBA this season that will fulfill the 40-20 rule. Now, again, guys, 91% of the last 46 NBA champions have won 40 games before 20 losses. The statistics are there. The statistics are there. I'm going to say no. And you know why I'm saying it's not news? Because the Spurs and Pistons, the last team, I can't tell you the last team that went from not winning a playoff series to winning a championship. I can't tell you the last team that was in the lottery and then went and won a champion. Oh, Pistons. Pistons in 04. But they weren't in the lottery. They were owed somebody's pick. And like that's my point being. So I don't believe it. I don't really believe it. 91% of the last 46 NBA champions have won 40 games. So when you're looking at these three teams right here, I don't think the Pistons are going to win. I don't think the Spurs are going to win. I think the only team that you can validate is the Thunder because they won last year. Okay? So I don't think that this is news. I don't think that that's news. I'm glad that most of y'all agree that it's not news. At the end of the day, it's Phil Jackson. And obviously he ruins the Knicks' franchise, and that's why all my Knicks fans are saying we don't care about that guy. Screw that guy. I don't blame y'all. I understand. I don't really think that this is news. Now, I saved a juicy one for last, ladies and gents. I'm glad you all agree. I saved a juicy one for last, okay? This one's juicy, okay? All right? Now, don't rush to say your response. I need you guys to let it marinate for a second, okay? Let it marinate for just a second because I need to finish the line, okay? Is this news? Luka, LeBron, Reeves lineup is -8 while they're on the court. Now, before you guys overreact, with Luka, LeBron, and Reeves on, they are a -8 net rating. With Luka and Reeves on and LeBron off, they're a +18. Now, I have something to say before you guys freak out. That was when they were against non-playoff teams and tanking teams. Literally at the beginning of the season, they are trying to scapegoat LeBron right now. This team got lucky that their schedule was ass at the start of the season. That's just what happened. They walked into that record. So I don't believe that this is news. I think we all agree that the Lakers suck, right? Respectfully, Lakers fans, if y'all are here, I'm not saying this to beat up on you guys. The Lakers have they have the 5th worst defense in the NBA. Okay. This is not LeBron's fault. It's LeBron. Here's whose fault it is. It's LeBron's fault. It's Luka's fault. It's Reeves' fault. It's JJ's fault. It's DeAndre Ayton's fault. It's Marcus Smart's fault. It's Jake LaRavia. It's the entire team, bro. It's the entire team. This is what it is. They have the 5th worst defense in the NBA. I've been saying it since the beginning of the year. They are the worst team in the NBA. That's just what it is. In fact, if you guys are really interested about Luka and the Lakers, I am releasing a Luka Doncic documentary. If somebody wants to do _YT for my YouTube channel, my main YouTube channel, Jay-Z Uncut, I am posting a Luka Doncic documentary this Saturday. It's very interesting, and I hope you guys look forward to it. It's about 30 minutes long, I think. Josh, how long is it? And I hope you guys tune into it. It's releasing this Saturday. I'm glad you guys all agree that this is not news. They're trying to scapegoat LeBron and say it's all his fault, bro. The beginning of the season, when they didn't have LeBron, they were up against bums. With all due respect, as we all know, the Lakers' schedule starts off ass every year, and then it gets more difficult. Their schedule only gets more difficult. That's what it is. They write the Lakers' schedule around the NFL schedule. While the NFL is going, they give the Lakers bad games, bad matchups, and then when the NFL ends, they give them all their best matchups because they know that the Lakers are the easiest team to tune into for casual fans. Also, can I just say something? Where's the gold jerseys? I'm getting really aggravated with these yellow and purple jerseys, bro. How am I never, like LeBron has been on the Lakers for 8 years. How am I never going to see LeBron in the actual purple and gold, bro? Why am I watching, what's that guy's name? Big Bird and Barney colors on a jersey, bro. It's not purple and gold. It's yellow and purple. It's hideous. In fact, hold on. Lakers gold jersey for my podcast crew. I'm sorry. I'm just looking it up. Lakers gold jersey. And like, this just is not it. This is yellow, bro. This is yellow. Like, what am I looking at? Look at the difference in jerseys for my podcast listeners. I'm just showing everybody right now that like Magic Johnson's jersey versus Luka's, and now Kobe's versus LeBron's. It's ugly, bro. It's ugly. If you want this franchise to be the face of the NBA, it's ugly. All right, that's an unnecessary rant. That's not LeBron, Luka, or Austin Reeves' fault. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Anyways, Twitch chat, stick around. We're not done yet. TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. I appreciate you all so very much for tuning in again. We will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern for your daily show. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. If your team is playing basketball tonight, I hope they win. And yeah, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Guys, again, be sure to recommend this show to your friends, family, cousins, dogs, ex-husbands, neighbors, everybody you got. And be sure to leave those likes and 5-star rating reviews. It really does help more than y'all could possibly understand. Twitch chat, don't go anywhere. We are still live. I got nothing left to say, y'all, except for thank you for being here. Thank you. Oh, I didn't do the stat of the night. I didn't do stud of the night. My apologies. Stud of the night. There were a lot of options, ladies and gentlemen. There were a lot of options to choose from. KPJ, Jokic, but he was inefficient. J. Will of the Thunder. I could have picked De'Aaron Fox. I could have picked Dennis Schroeder. I could have picked Reed Shepherd. I could have picked Jalen Duren. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't ignore this. I know I'm a Pistons fan. I can't ignore this. Cade Parker Cunningham wins the stud of the night. Again, he had 29 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 blocks. Guys, that's a point guard. 3 steals, 3 blocks, 11 for 16 from the field. Come on, y'all. This is just ridiculous. Call me a homer all you want. This is an unbelievably efficient night. What point guard is getting you 6 stocks every night on a consistent basis, baby? Wow. I got nothing left to say, y'all, except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, thank you for watching / listening. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning live at 9 a.m. Eastern.